Okay, welcome back to the channel. This is another reaction I'm gonna do. Somebody put this in the suggestion. Somebody put this in the comment section. One of the last videos I did and said I should look at this as well. This is Michael Jordan's best and rare videos ever, man. So, like I said in the last Jordan video I did, I thought I saw all of them. So, I don't know if this is gonna be anything different, anything new that I haven't seen already, but we'll see. I like doing MJ reaction videos, man, because it's so much to his game that kind of gets overlooked, and I like pointing that stuff out, man. So let's see what they got here.
Gets his own rebound, shows it to Brown.
They'll end up Tom. No, you can't fall asleep. Jordan's there, but Tom
didn't miss that one. He got watch the right hand now. Up high, his hand is there. He ducks out of the way. Now watch him throw it.
Ooh, see. Oh man, we're only 15 seconds in. All right, so I mean, the first thing you notice is that how high he is to doing what he did. He had a 48-inch vertical. I think that's still the highest recorded vertical ever recorded in the NBA. So he was ahead of his time. Like, he was way ahead of his time. I don't think nobody else was doing that back then. I think Wilt had a real crazy vertical too. But here he is ducking under the rim to finish the dunk. So imagine going up and reversing it and having to duck so you can avoid hitting your head, but still getting your elbow in the rim. And here it is. That's in the 80s, and we see Vince Carter do it in the 2000s. And we're like, wow, he put his elbow in the rim. MJ did it off of a reverse. That's crazy. That's crazy.
Down in through.
I'm gonna run that back. Yeah, his elbow is in there. I don't know what this about. The free throw line is always gonna be crazy. To pump it. And what I like about MJ is the way he palmed the ball. See, look, that's what I'm talking about. How big his hands is. He just caught that with one hand and palmed it and came down. He's floating in the air and hanging because he's getting he's getting rhythm with his jump shot. He don't want to shoot it while he's too high, and he's waiting till he come down a little bit so he can actually flick his wrist like a normal shot. I know what he's doing. See that goes big palms again. That defense. Passing. This dude was special, man. Look at that. This dude was special. And someone said his handles was a weakness. I got a good friend that say his handles is a weakness. MJ had no weaknesses. He just had things he chose not to do as much. Let me get one thing straight with MJ, right? He chose not to shoot the three as much. It wasn't a weakness. He chose not to pass as much, even though he did average between 5 and 6 assists every year. For a guy who doesn't handle the ball, like for a guy that plays off the ball and allows Ron Harper, Tony Kukoc, Scottie Pippen, B.J. Armstrong to be ball handlers, for a guy that's always off the ball to get 5 and 6 assists. Same thing with Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bryant was getting 5 and 6 assists, and he was totally off the ball in the post a lot of times. Coming off of curl actions, running the triangle, off the ball, and they always had a point forward. In Kobe's situation, Lamar Odom was a point forward for him. He also had Ron Harper. He also had Trevor Ariza. He always had someone handling the ball when they was in that triangle. That's just how it was. It doesn't make sense for your primary scorer to also be your primary ball handler. That makes it harder. I think if LeBron didn't do that, he would have more rings. But the reason why LeBron doesn't do that is because it playing off the ball highlights the weaknesses in his game. When LeBron has the ball, there's really, I mean, it shrinks what his weakness is. You know, being in the post, shooting off the catch, shooting off of screens and curl actions and stuff like that. You know, all those things are kind of weaknesses for LeBron. But if he has the ball all the time in his hand, then the only weakness he's going to have is the mid-range pull-up, which he don't really have to do, because if he get a high screen and roll and come downhill with a head full of steam going to the rim, it's either going to be layup or you're going to double, and that's when he can utilize his great passing skill. Or if you're trying to stop him from getting to the rim and you go under the screen, then you give him a wide open three, or a warm up three, what I like to call it. But see, that's the difference between MJ. He chose not to be a crazy passer because it allowed for his teammates to utilize their skill set. Like, we wouldn't have known Scottie Pippen was such a great point forward if Michael Jordan took that role away from him and did it. Only thing Pippen would have had to learn how to be a catch and shoot 3-point shooter, right? Just like all LeBron James teammates. Kyrie Irving had to learn how to be a catch and shoot player. D Wade, that first year they struggled because who's gonna have the ball, and then the second year D Wade decided, hey, look, I just reduced my role in my game. You have the ball, LeBron. I learned how to play off the ball. Chris Bosh had to come out of the post and learn how to catch and shoot threes. Kevin Love, catch and shoot threes. Ilgauskas, catch and shoot threes. Anthony Davis, a lot of catch and shoot threes this year. Like, everyone is forced to change their game so LeBron can utilize his strengths. That was the total opposite from MJ. MJ, his primary game was with the ball when he first came in the league. He put that on the shelf so someone else can use that, and he decided to go off the ball. So he made his B game his A game, if that makes sense.
Jordan in the middle, sees Corzine.
This dude was cold, man. I heard he was a good quarterback. I heard he could throw that ball, and yeah, if he had big old hands, I'm pretty sure he could. The things he could do with those big hands, though.
Where did he go?
Look at that hang time. That's ridiculous, man. There he is in the post. Let's count how many ways this man score. There's the defense, man. He would look. He threw that like a quarterback. Just had one hand palm. Okay, here he is with the ball. That's pull up. Just beautiful pull up, beautiful form, beautiful touch, all that. Here he is finishing at the rim. Finishing at the rim. Finishing at the rim. Mid-range. Mid-range. Yes. Ball handling. Pull up. He don't have to get all the way to the rim. Like, all he needs, look at this, defending Clyde. Give me that. Look, blocks. This dude was amazing, man. He doesn't have to get all the way to the rim. All he has to do is be able to get to one of his spots, which he turned almost every place on the court his spot. The baseline, the elbow, top of the key, the short corner. Look at this. He turned almost everything into his spot. Man, it's a 12-minute long video. And I'm pretty sure I've seen some of these, but I like the way they put it together on this video. Okay, here he is. This is old Mike. Fade away over Sean Marion, I think, in the All-Star game. Old Mike. Washington Wizards Mike hitting the game winner. That fadeaway is gold. That post game is gold. Look at that. And he had that post game as a rookie. Something he didn't even do at Carolina. He came in as a rookie and had things in his repertoire. So pretty much Dean Smith was holding him back a little bit.
Michael with a hang time move.
It's really magical on television.
Okay, well, let's see this the defender. How you the best offensive player and the best wing defender in the league? How do you do that? This dude was ferocious as a defender. We haven't seen nothing like him before or since. Kobe got daggone close. Kobe got really close. Yeah, he had to play through some rough times in the league. He's playing through some different type of. This is different basketball right here. And I get a lot of people say that MJ got a lot of star calls. Um, a lot of star calls. I mean, everybody gets star calls, man. And yeah, MJ did have the referees in his pocket a little bit once he became MJ, but he had to scratch and fight for that, and, and claw for that.
I don't think I can go in seclusion.
He earned it. Now he paved the way where the NBA saw how much of a cash cow he was for them, and that was the blueprint. So once Michael Jordan retires, we just got to create another Michael Jordan, which was Kobe. Then when we see another Michael Jordan come in, which was LeBron, we just do the same thing for him. You got to market. You got to market them. MJ showed them, hey, this is how you do it. It used to be dynasties. It used to be Boston. Used to be Lakers. But Magic and Bird wasn't selling and being able to be marketed like that. MJ created that blueprint. So it's always going to be a star that the league is going to be the league's darling. It's always going to be one. Michael Jordan showed you that, and right now it's LeBron until he retires. But being the first to do it, being the person to create the blueprint, being the person who broke down all the barriers and went all against the grain for everything. Nobody can come after that. You're gonna have to come and shatter everything. Like it's not enough to catch MJ in rings. It's not enough for you to get 6 or 7 to say you're better than him or you're the greatest or the GOAT. It's almost unfair with him being the person who broke all those type of barriers. Where they said, hey, you can't build a team around a wing player. You need a big guy, a big man, a 7-footer. That's why Sam Bowie and Elijah Wan got drafted over him. The big man was king back then. They also said you can't win a championship with a person who was a scorer. You can't win the scoring title and lead your team to a championship. These are all the type of things that was not cliche then. Now everybody's looking for a wing like MJ. Everybody's looking for that Kobe, D Wade, LeBron, KD. They're looking for those wing players.
There it is, my man on defense. There it was. He just took it away from him.
Look at this, man. He just got too much to his game, man. So yeah, like I was saying though, it's not enough to just catch him in rings. It's is the storyline that goes to it. When you so let's take Kobe and LeBron, because those are the people that got compared to him so much. Kobe plays just like him. Kobe arguably could have been a better defender, maybe, in some people's minds. Some people think he was a better shooter because Kobe had, he shot more threes and made more threes and stuff like that. So that could be argued as well. and then everything else. I mean, he was so much like him. I think Jordan was a way better athlete though. But even with Kobe, when you look at the storyline, coming out of high school, you get your first 3 rings playing second fiddle. Well, I won't even go say second fiddle because as great as Kobe was, he wasn't second fiddle to nobody. But the argument people make is that he played second fiddle to Shaquille O'Neal, who was the most dominant player in the league at that time, which is true. So you got 3 rings that came with Shaq, but then he proved that, hey, look, man, I can do this without Shaq. And he got 2 more without Shaq, which is good. But that storyline has some kinks in it, right?
It's not because of basketball.
You take LeBron, and he comes in the league, and he's great. Not a complete player as far as he couldn't really shoot it. They got exposed in his first 2 championships against Dallas and San Antonio. And then he got put out by Orlando and Dwight Howard, and then he couldn't get past the Celtics' big 3. And then he finally was like, look, man, I can't do this by myself, and had to leave to go and join D Wade and Chris Bosh in Miami. 2 guys that was in the East who had their own squads that he took and said, hey, look, we all together now. So there's 3 teams that was in competition. There's now 1 team now. So he really just dismantled Toronto and Cleveland by Bosh and himself leaving and joining him, D Wade in Miami. So they got this big super team, and that's how he got his first 2 rings. And then he lost 2 with that super team. So when you think about those 2 storylines and you compare it to MJ, who comes in, and you got 2 guys that is in the GOAT discussion, including Isaiah Thomas. So you got Magic, Bird, Isaiah, Magic and Bird in the GOAT discussion, and then you got Isaiah and the Bad Boy Pistons, and you have to take them down to be king of the hill, and he did that by coming back stronger every year and pushing his teammates to come back stronger with him, mentally stronger is what I'm talking about. And then they finally got over the hump, and when they got over the hump, the rest is history. There's no storyline that I've seen that beats that of any of these players that came out the MJ. So you got to have the storyline. Your game got to be as complete as MJ's. You got to win the rings, and of course do some of the other things as far as statistics. I like that video. It's not the greatest. I've seen better, but I always like and appreciate good highlights. No matter if it's LeBron, Magic, Bird, Jordan, Kobe, it don't matter. Shaq, Hakeem, I really like Hakeem. It really doesn't matter, man. It was a good video, man. But let me know in the comments, man, what y'all think, man. What does LeBron have to do to catch MJ to be the GOAT? Is it possible? Is that ship sailed already? Leave it in the comments. Make sure you subscribe as well. Help us get to 1,000 subs. That's what we're trying to do. So help us get to 1,000 subs, and then share the content as well, man. Peace.